Hi, I'm Ann Jorgensen, and my Discreet trial training has to do with shape identification. The significance of shapes are that they are all around us and help to keep us safe and healthy in our environment. For the trial, I used 3 different forms of flashcards. The first form is actually the shape that you are, the shape concept that you're teaching. So a rectangle, a circle, if you have a square, star, whatever shape you're using. Actually using the shape as a flashcard helps the student understand what you are trying to teach and what you're trying to get them to learn and understand. There are no other distractors as far as pictures or outlines or anything on these cards. The second type of card actually has an outline of the shape. So again, a rectangle, a circle. In these, you have the shape, but you also have the background, the white background that kind of forms a distractor, but it's still pretty simple. All of the shapes are white with the black outline, so you can start to use these to see if they understand the concept as well. The third set of cards have colored shapes on them. So you have the circle, the rectangle, they have colors. The thing I caution with this is to use different colors with the shapes. So don't always have a pink circle because that could cause them to think that you're trying to teach them pink rather than circle, or anytime that they see the color pink, they might think it's a circle. Same with a purple rectangle. So just make sure that you use flashcards that have different colors eventually that show the same shape, but that it can come in a multitude of colors. Further generalization of the skill could be taught by looking at the environment that you are in. For example, you could take a nature walk and look at different signs that help keep us safe. You can look at road signs that are triangles, rectangles, octagons. You can look at different foods that come in shapes. So, for example, like pizzas or cookies that are in the shape of a circle, just to help the students start to see the shapes around them and recognize the different shapes around them. You could look, I have attribute blocks that I have in my classroom that we start looking at for the different shapes. There again, I caution, being as attribute blocks only come in one color, they could start to confuse that an octagon is always yellow. So making sure that they see octagons that are different colors in their environment so that they are learning that an octagon is an octagon and it's not a red or a yellow octagon. Older students, something you could try with them with a discrete trial would be starting to teach what the word looks like for the shape. So every time they see the word circle, they have to draw a circle around the word circle. If they see the word rectangle, draw a rectangle around the word rectangle. Start to do that association, the word and shape association. There are different data collection sheets that I use. There is a daily data collection that has the student name at the top. It's telling you that you're looking for identification of shapes. Then you can mark whether you're having the student match the shapes, a receptive or expressive identification, the date, the target, so what shape were you targeting, the number of trials you did, how many prompts they needed, or what kind of prompts they needed, and the notes that for that session. There's also a mastery data sheet. So again, you have the student name, whether it was receptive or expressive. And then for each shape, you have the date that the shape was introduced and then the date that it was mastered. An important thing before filling this out is to establish what mastery is to you. How many correct responses do you want or would you consider to be mastered? I like to use 80 to 85% correct for the mastery level for my students. That lets me know that they have a pretty solid idea or understanding of the concept. Some cautions to be aware of. As I stated, these cards, the outline and the colored, all have the white background. So just make sure you try to keep the background pretty neutral, but also make sure that they're the same for all. If you're doing colored shapes, make sure that the background is the same for all of them. That will help lessen confusion for the student, and help make sure that the concepts are not being confused with other concepts. Again, it's not an evidence-based practice for older students, but I really think that there are ways that you could use DTT with older students. I think of like vocabulary terms for various subjects. If you're in a biology class, having the student match the word and the word, you can move on once they have the words done with word and definition. There are ways, I believe, that it could be used with older students. It's just important to work on an increasing level. Make sure you stay pretty simple at first so that there are no other distractors for the student, so that they are truly understanding what you are teaching and what you are wanting them to learn. And then as they master that simple task, moving on with the complexity of what you are using or showing them and working with, and then increase the distractors as far as what's on the flashcard that you're using, or using different, in my case, using different shapes. The number of distractors I use increases as we go through, just to make sure that that mastery level is there. Thank you for watching.